Coming up in tonight's show, we might hear about gun crime in America, but did you know it's also a problem here in the UK? Well, what leads people to joining gangs and falling into crime? And can faith provide a solution to save these people from putting not only the lives of others at risk, but even their own life? Stay tuned to find out.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. We have an interesting topic tonight because tonight's topic is titled, Is it possible to escape the life of gangs and gun crime? We have come back to this topic, and as we've seen recently in the news, we have many young teens who have been stabbed, shot, killed because of this gang culture. Now, how far will this go? My guest tonight is someone, and it's not a male, it's actually a female, who'll be sharing her side of things when it all started off as a young teen. She used to actually carry drugs for her partner. She would carry weapons for her partner even. And you're going to hear more about her story later on. Before we do, let's have a look at a real life story of someone who was able, through faith, to overcome their problems.
Hi and welcome to another week of Through Faith, It's Possible. Now in this section, we like to inspire you at home to show you just how faith can change the course of your life. Now today I have Anna with me. Hi Anna.
Hello.
Would you like to tell the viewers how your life was before you found faith?
So before faith, I used to have a really low self-esteem, but I didn't see it as low self-esteem. I just saw it as something normal. Obviously, there's things that happened whilst I was growing up that made me be that way. The things that I heard and, you know, that got told to me that wasn't good enough and things like that. So I grew up in a way where I shelled myself from the world, that I was stopping myself from doing things, from the normal things, that, for example, applying for a job, I'll be like, oh no, I don't believe that I can get this job. Or, for example, in relationship, I'll think that everyone is good enough and I'm not good enough. So all these things, and through faith, I was able to build my self-esteem, to now going from not believing in myself to believing in myself, to believe in my abilities and being a complete different person. You see that after you believe in yourself, doors opens as well. So
it was affecting every area of your life then?
Yeah, it was.
Who's the Anna today? Tell the viewers who you are now.
Well, I'm a more happy, confident person. I believe in myself and my life is moving forward through faith, yeah.
Yeah, this is amazing. If you too want to find out how you can change the course of your life through faith, please do get in touch with us. You can call us at any time of the day. The number is 0207 686 6300. That's 0207 686 6300. So do get in touch. There's always someone here to help you. And if you're suffering from any problem, maybe you have a low self-esteem, just like Anna used to, you can see from this example here that it really can change and the impossible can become possible. So tune in next time, but for now we'll go back to the studio.
So welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, if you just joined us, our topic for tonight is it possible to escape the life of gangs and gun crime? And maybe you know someone who is in a gang. Maybe you're a teenager yourself and you are in a gang or you are gang affiliated. You know, why does anyone want to join a gang in the first place? Well, it's like when you go to school. Right? You want to identify with someone or something that you have similar interests with. And, you know, normally we see that gang members or those who are affiliated to gangs, whether they're male or they're female, they tend to come from broken homes. You know, they don't have a role model, a father, or even a mother figure. So their family is the streets. Their family are those of a similar background who will embrace them. And what do? They don't just go and sit down in parks the whole day. They want to make money. They want to, be like their idols, musicians. So in order to do that, they're going to commit crime. And maybe this is your life. This is what you do. You have a son, you have a daughter that maybe is in this lifestyle. And you don't know how to cope. You've tried everything. Maybe your last resort for you is, I feel my son, my child, my daughter will be safe if I just tell the police and they're in prison. Well, I can tell you there's another option. We're going to highlight that on tonight's program. But before we do, I have Rachel with me. Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening. It's very interesting what you were saying there about the streets sort of becoming a home for these people who don't have a home. I think it's important to note that the kind of divide between these people and the community is a hugely impacting kind of thing for these people. It means it's very hard for them to integrate back into community. Mm-hmm. So I've obviously been looking at this, and the drive behind the Met's latest anti-knife crime operation is inspired by the success of the Boston strategy of 1996. Now, you might be asking, what is the Boston strategy? I hadn't heard of it either. The Boston strategy was introduced after youth homicide rates rocketed in the 1980s and early 90s in America. Officially termed Operation Ceasefire, the scheme brought together police, social workers, pastors and community leaders to tackle the problem at ground level. Now, this scheme was hugely successful, with homicides dropping by 63% in just a year. But what made this scheme so successful? Well, probably most importantly was the change in attitude of these community workers towards the young people that they were engaging with. So rather than dealing with the problem from behind desks and offices like we so often see, they actually took to the streets and spoke directly to these young people. So it turned into a two-way conversation about the needs of these very vulnerable people who thought that society had rejected them due to their upbringing and due to them struggling to find a place in society. So undoubtedly, the different areas of expertise of the various authorities coming together to find these solutions was also hugely impactful for the change. The core aim of the strategy was to get all sides of the kind of issue talking to one another, and it was remarkably effective. Unfortunately, however, statistics show that when the scheme was cut, there was a 160% increase in youth homicide between 2000 and 2006 in America. So with a 24% increase in knife crime in the last year here in the UK, could this be the solution? What do you think on this, Pastor Michael?
Well, that's in America, and I see that in the UK, we always, mimic what happens in America. So if leaders do come together from, the police to, local people, local councillors, community leaders, pastors, whoever it is, they come together and we come down to the level of our youth and we try to identify what's going on. Then I think, yes, the problem can be addressed and, I don't believe we were able to completely stop it, but at least minimize the deaths on our streets. Now, maybe you are this person who is in a gang, someone in the gang, or maybe you left this lifestyle, but you're in limbo. You don't know where to go. You are lost. Maybe you have a criminal record because of what you've done, and you want a clean slate. You want to start all over again. Well, it is possible through faith. And God, God wants you. Whether you're in a gang or not, it doesn't matter if you're a drug addict. It doesn't matter where you've come from, where you are now. It's if you believe that you can start again. You can turn the page and everything now is wiped clean. You can start again. And this is what God wants to do in your life. If you'd like to give us a call, if you want to speak to someone, consider this line now, a line that you can speak to a new family, someone who'll be able to listen to you. Isn't that what you want family to do? And maybe your family didn't listen to you, and so you went elsewhere. You went to those who would listen to you. They would listen to what you're going through. And you know, all that anger, you know, all that frustration obviously has boiled over and escalated into a life of crime. But if you want to talk to someone tonight, the line is open right now. The number is 0207 686 6300. If you'd like to contact us on social media, Rachel.
Yes, please do contact us. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think the solution to this problem is. Well, you can get in touch with us on Facebook if you search Finding Answers. If you also search Finding Answers on Instagram, you will find us there. You'll see some behind the scenes footage. You can like, you can comment, and of course you can follow. So do that to keep updated on the show. You can also look up old episodes if you want to see some more episodes in your spare time. You don't have to wait till 11 o'clock every night. Look them up on YouTube. Just search Finding Answers again, and they are all there.
All right, there you have it. And we're going to go for a break. And joining me is not only going to be my guest for this evening, but Pastor Bruno will be joining us on the sofa to talk more about this subject. We'll see you right after this break.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort and homework from you.
Hi, I'm Chrissy B and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show.
Welcome back to Finding Answers Now. If you just joined us, tonight's topic is it possible to live a life of gangs and gun crime? And we're going to meet my guest for this evening who's going to be sharing her story with us. Let's meet her now.
It's pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
So Sabrina, welcome to the program.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
And also joining us on the sofa is Pastor Bruno. How are you doing, Pastor?
Hi, good evening. Good to be here.
Good. So, you know, let's hear now her story. So you started life very young and already you were involved in seeing drugs and things like that, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that, Sabrina.
Okay, so from around the age of 16, I got involved in a relationship, and in that relationship, the partner that I was with, he was my partner at the time, he was involved in the gang life. He used to sell drugs, and because of that, he used to use my house basically as a place to keep and hold the drugs and money as well.
Now, when you said your house...
Yes, well...
Was it your parents' house?
Yeah, it was my parents' house.
Okay. And how old was he? Was he a lot older than you?
No, we was the same age.
16?
Yeah, as well.
So he obviously had drugs. He had someone supplying him drugs.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So where we used to live on an estate, and on that estate there were also, like in our area, what we used to call it was, you know, like the olders and the youngers. So there were the older gang members that used to live on those estates anyway, and they would already be selling drugs. He first came to the estate when he was about 13 years old. He just came over from his country and he came to live on the estate, and then from there, obviously, he got involved in that whole life, wanting to make money, and that's how it started. And so then, me being his partner, I was there, and he used me as that opportunity to, you know, because usually back in those days, the police wouldn't really search the women. So he used to use me as basically the girl. When he would go out to drive, to go meet people, to sell them drugs, I'll just be there. I'll be holding everything.
And what's everything apart from drugs?
Well, in that relationship, it was just basically like weed, cocaine, yeah.
Now, you saw him selling drugs, getting involved in drugs.
Yes.
Didn't you say, you know what, I don't want to be involved in this?
I mean, initially it did pass my mind, but then at that time, because I really liked him, I wanted to make him happy. So I just thought to myself, oh, you know what, let me be that girlfriend that's going to do everything for him.
And you were only 16 at the time,
yeah.
Right? How did that relationship end?
Well, it didn't end really well. We just ended up breaking up and we just both went our separate ways. That was it. So.
Okay. When did you break up? How old were you when you broke up?
Around the age 16, 17.
So it wasn't very long?
So, yeah, it wasn't really long, but we knew each other for a long time because obviously we had grown up in the estate together, so,
okay.
Yeah.
But things got kind of worse,
yeah.
If I can say, right?
Yeah.
You met someone else,
yes.
Didn't you? And it was basically the same thing repeated all over again.
Yeah.
Tell us
but in the beginning, actually, he wasn't involved in that lifestyle. From what I knew anyway, he wasn't involved in that lifestyle. But then there came the hard moments where he needed to make money, and the friends that he would hang around with were involved in that lifestyle already. So when he started to get involved again, he would use me as his girlfriend, as the one to hold the drugs and hold, you know, the weapons and all of that stuff, because back in those days, the police would never, you know, come to the girls, especially from the way that they looked, especially as well because of me. Like I used to look really young and really innocent, so they probably would bypass me. So that's why they, you know.
So again, this was weed?
Yeah, weed.
Cocaine as well?
Yeah.
Were there guns involved?
Yes, there were guns as well. There was a few guns actually, ammunition in the house that I used to keep. And
again, in your parents' home?
So this wasn't in my parents' home anymore. Now I had moved out at the age of 17, and I went to go live in an all-girls hostel because by that time I wanted to be free. Like I didn't want to be underneath my mum's roof anymore.
And I think that's a mistake, right? That's where things kind of. It was bad enough, you having a boyfriend involved in drugs and guns and gangs and stuff like that, but for you to go and leave your house and say, I want to be independent, that's causing more trouble. That's
of course, because now you don't have the parents watching over you, you know, saying you can't go out, you can't do this, you can't do that. Whereas that's what it was becoming. I felt like I was being too controlled, so I wanted to just get out and just be free. That's all I wanted to do. So
did your parents ever know you were hiding drugs for your boyfriend, or he was involved in drugs?
Not at that time. Not if my mum did find out, because I only lived with my mum. I didn't know my dad, so she didn't have any idea. Plus, I had a safe which she bought, which I kept in my house inside of my wardrobe, so no one could get in there because there was a code anyway. So there would be no way that she would know that it was.
And what was in that safe? Money,
drugs. Scales as well, like to weigh the drugs and everything, because I also got involved in doing all of those things as well.
So you would help him to...
Yeah, so I would help
pack, I don't know.
Yeah, cut, pack, everything. When he was away, you know, what they used to call country, they'll go away and they'll go and get their drugs and stuff like that, and then they'll come back into the area. And basically when he needed me to go out to go meet clients, then I'll go like to parks in the dark, like just me, young 16-year-old girl, just going into like a dark park to go meet someone to go and sell them drugs.
And these people that were buying these drugs, were they from all walks of life? Were they young, old?
Yeah, all walks of life, people that you wouldn't even imagine to be getting drugs, but yeah.
It's funny, Pastor Bruno, what she said, right? When I'll go and meet clients. So we're talking, you know, it's not something very small. Clients, you refer to business.
Yeah.
And that's what it was for them. It's a business. They're trying to make money. right? They're trying to survive. And you can see how, in her case, and probably in his case as well, they came from troubled backgrounds.
And also, Pastor Michael, if I may say this, not thinking ahead. Because that's the problem with our generation. Many youth are not thinking ahead, not seeing where the consequences of the acts will lead them to, you know. And luckily, she's here. Well, by the hand of God, we know, by the power of faith, she's here. But how many who got into this kind of life, into those situations, and they never came out? Mm-hmm. How many who are now even underground? They're dead, they're gone because of this kind of life. Mm-hmm. I too had friends like this that they're not among us anymore because of this kind of life. So yes, the background and influences a lot where they're coming from. The broken home will have a lot of impact on that, and also not getting that training at some point in life to wait a moment, look at your life, where you're going with your life, think of the consequences.
I want to go back to you then, Sabrina, in terms of your relationship with your mum. Mm-hmm. Was it a close relationship? Or was that one of the reasons why you decided, you know what, I want to be free?
Yeah, so growing up, because my mum was a single mum, I was the first child from my mum, so it was, she had me when she was about 18 years old, so she was still young as well at the time, and back in those days as well, it wasn't a thing for you to be, it wasn't a good thing for you to be having a child at that age. And so she had got kicked out of her house and stuff like that. And so obviously taking care of me, it was hard, it was difficult. Then she ended up getting involved in a relationship whereby she ended up in domestic violence because he always used to beat her up. And also he abused me as a child as well. So from when I was from the age of 5 years old, I was abused.
So you carried that with you?
Yeah.
It was like history repeating itself?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So basically, going back to your second partner.
Yeah.
Now he's selling drugs, now he's hiding it, he's giving it to you, you're going out and dealing with his clients. Mm-hmm. You saw weapons as well?
Yeah.
Did you see anyone, I don't know, were you involved or heard about shootings or stabbings or anything like that?
Yeah, some of the people that I used to hang around with, we found out that they got stabbed to death, some people that got shot as well. People that my boyfriend at the time, he used to hang around with, his friends got shot, ended up in jail, and yeah.
When you say shot and killed?
Yeah, shot and killed. For me, like, it made me really fearful as well, because when I would go out on the road as well, I would even have that fear of like either being shot or kidnapped or someone doing something to me because of the partner that I was with at the time. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was quite a scary life actually, but at that moment it was exciting at the same time, living on the edge.
When was can you remember a point where, that fun and living on the edge, as you just said, when did it become that scary moment for you? When was it like, the point where you said, you know what, I need to change, something has to happen here, I want to get out of this lifestyle? So
it was nearly Christmas, and I was pregnant at the time with my son. And what happened is my boyfriend's friend at the time, he dropped him off to my house and everything was all right. And then later on we heard, about a few minutes later anyway, the buzzer was ringing, we heard someone screaming outside, shouting. And what happened is that he had got shot in his hand. He protected himself, so the bullet went through his hand and he came run upstairs. And then we later found out that they thought it was my boyfriend at the time, so they were trying to kill him, but instead they got the wrong person. And from that moment, that's when I realised how serious it was. And
this was outside your
This was
house.
outside of my house. When that happened, the police got involved, and then we had to get moved to a safe house. And we couldn't tell anyone where we was going to live, not even family or anything. Like, no one could know where we were living at the time. That was me and my son and my partner at the time. Right. So we was put under police protection now because obviously of what happened outside of the house.
But that didn't stop him from doing what
it didn't stop him. So even when we moved out of the area, he still went back to the area and he was still involved in her lifestyle and he still kept on going. And, you know, I had the police come in with warrants to search for firearms, with warrants to search for stolen jewellery. So there was a lot of things that was still going on while obviously like we had moved out of the area.
Oh, you moved out of the area?
Yeah.
But I'm sure you were still scared.
Yeah.
Right? Going to bed, going to sleep on your own, probably seeing things on TV, hearing stories of people that you knew being hurt. How did you feel inside?
For me, I felt like it's like you want to come out, but you just don't know how to come out of that lifestyle because you're in it. Like you just feel like you were born in, this was how it's supposed to be for you, this is just how life is, kind of thing. And there was even an occasion when the police did knock the door and I thought the worst. I thought, oh, maybe, you know, he's been killed or something. Because obviously when the police come to your house, usually it's because they come to tell you, some, you know, maybe it's bad news. But that wasn't the case. And yeah, it was just really frightening at times, like, you know, because I would even have nightmares as well about getting shot.
Really?
Yeah, I would have like people chasing me and stuff like that and me end up getting shot. And for me, that was really hard because I didn't have that peace inside of me anymore. It was like I was always afraid that someone was gonna, you know, turn up at my house one day and say they were looking for this person, and then I get caught up in the middle of it. And at that time, because I had my son as well, you know, I didn't want there to be any danger around us or anything like that. So, yeah.
Well, Pastor Bruno, you see here how people do want to get out, and no, her story is not an isolated one. Many people who are in gangs, they want to get out, but they just don't know how to. And when you don't have a solution or an answer, you just continue living as though, you know what, this is how I'm meant to be. Hopefully one day things will improve, but sometimes it never does.
No, that's why action is needed. And the longer the person takes to take this action, to make a decision, the worse the situation gets. It's like going down in a hole, you know, and the longer you wait to take action, to do something about it, the deeper you go. So if there's someone watching us right now in this situation, you have to get out and get out now.
Yes.
So that's why we're here.
You know, if you want help, our line is open now, as I said from the beginning. The number you can call is 007-686-6300. You want to talk to someone, you want to air your concerns. Maybe you don't know how to get out of the lifestyle that you're living. You know, maybe you're afraid. What will my peers think? You know, will there be a backlash? Don't worry about this. Just believe. If you want help, pick up the phone and give us a call, right? Stay with us, because after the break, you're going to hear how Sabrina changed her life around. So if it was possible for her, it will be possible for you. We'll see you after this break.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort and homework from you.
Gang culture is a huge problem, especially here in London. But I want to know if you think that younger members of gangs who are engaging in criminal activity should be punished as harshly as others. Is this the right method? Is it working? We're going to find out what you think on the topic. So do you think that gang members under the age of 18 should be punished more or less severely than they are at the current moment?
I think that they should be punished less severely. I think that there should be more focus on rehabilitation and sort of taking into account the fact that they're young and they're easily impressionable. I think that in lots of ways does mitigate the crimes that they might be committing as members of gangs.
It's really sort of dependent on someone's background, and there's a whole story behind why somebody might do something. So to punish them more harshly is not really, it's tackling the symptoms but not the cause, whereas I think more should be done to tackle the causes of why people are joining gangs and crime rather than just brushing over the symptoms.
Do you think punishment's the best way to sort of teach people not to continue with that criminal behaviour?
I think so, yeah, because it will make them learn from their mistakes and don't want them to do it again.
Yeah, and would you make the punishments harsher or less severe?
Probably harsher if they don't learn the first time.
Most young teens are confused, so most of them have grown up in poorer or worse areas and they haven't had the privileges that most other people have. So they go to the places where they feel comfortable and they feel like someone has their back. So I think they just need, youngsters especially, they need to be steered in the right direction. Harsher punishment make them feel like they need to act out more instead of getting where they need to be.
What would the alternative solution to this problem be, do you think?
Probably preventing it overall, investing in communities, community centres and stuff like that, to make sure that this gang culture doesn't prevail, doesn't keep going on.
Well, I'd just like to ask what you think about how much gang crime is sort of the responsibility of the support that a community provides, and by sort of lacking to have certain things for people to do and opportunities, how much a community that might not be committing crime can actually take a bit of joint responsibility for the fact that a lot of young people in their society are choosing to join gangs rather than pursue normal careers and normal lives.
So, in answer to that question, it's important that the police, that community leaders, parents, they all join forces in order to help people who are in this lifestyle. But I think the main thing is the individual. The individual has to take responsibility for themselves. Like Sabrina, she decided to do it to fit in. You know what? She loved her partner, but she still had a choice. If she decided to say no and take action, and as Pastor Bruno said, get out of this hole, she would have avoided all the pain and hurt that she did go through. So that's my response to your question. I want to go back to Sabrina now and find out how she got help. So Sabrina, tell us, how did faith help you to be where you are today?
Okay, so there was a point where I made a decision and I said, okay, I want to come out of this. I don't want my life to be like this. I have, I want a career. I want to, move forward in life, and I want to do well as well for my son too. I want him to have someone to look up to, and so.
How old were you at the time?
About 20, 21.
21. Your son was how old?
About 2, yeah.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I just wanted a better life for the both of us. So I came across, I was online and I found this Christian youth group, and they had performed that, they had put on a drama which kind of related to what I was going through in my life. And so, because I could relate to it and I saw that person had changed, I thought, okay, well, if that person can change, then so
Was this from online, or you went to them to see this?
Well, it was online,
okay.
And then I went over to the youth group afterwards.
Okay.
And then from there, I had people as well that was there to advise me, and which was really helpful for me as well, because they pointed me in the right direction, gave me the right advice as well.
Wasn't there this tug? I mean, you go to this youth group, this Christian centre.
Yeah.
But then you go home, and then your boyfriend's there, and the surroundings there. So wasn't there like a struggle between the two?
Well, for me, it would have been more the friends, because after that time, me and my partner had a bit of issues, and so we kind of broke up. Right. So by the time I came, we wasn't together. But I would say more the friends that I used to hang around with. Right. It was more about distancing myself from them, those who were still involved in that lifestyle, and obviously being around them would still influence me to, still do the same things that I was doing before.
Were these male friends, female friends, or both?
They were both.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, I just had to leave them behind, and just, it wasn't easy. It was difficult. It was hard, but because I made that decision in my mind and I was determined, I just continued to go, and I just kept on looking ahead.
Obviously, you found something there that helped you.
Yeah.
I don't know how you felt. You said I think you mentioned you had dreams, nightmares.
Yeah, as well. I used to have nightmares as well.
I'm sure you must have been down and maybe depressed.
Yes, there was many times when I was depressed, down.
How did that help you?
It just helped me it kind of freed my mind, me having those prayers, and also having someone as well to, let all of that out to as well. It helped me to release all the anger, all the frustration, all the hurt and everything I had inside of me. And when you have that person, the right kind of person that you speak to about these kind of things, and they point you in the right direction, they give you the right advice, then you know exactly what to do. And I think that's really helpful, and that's what I had. I had someone there, and I also had, there was also people there as well, other youths who had been involved in the same lifestyle that I was involved in, who had also changed, so that inspired me, and that pushed me as well to...
we've had people on sharing their story on Finding Answers, how they were in danger, they were stabbed, they were shot. Yeah. And some people might be thinking, how can you be protected if you go to a place of worship? But it seems like you've got a supernatural protection, because these same people walk in front of the ones who want to kill them. They have fights with, and it's like they just walk past them. Or they say, all right? So it's like the person has been blinded. So some people may be saying to you, you know what, weren't you in danger of your life just going to church? How can God help you in this? But did you feel safe? Did things eventually change? Was it instantaneous? Did it take some time?
Yeah, it did take some time. Nothing happens overnight. It was a process, and there were those moments where I would feel scared, and I would feel, okay. But the moment that I entered inside of that place, I had that peace inside of me that things were going to get better, that things were going to change, and so that's what just helped me to keep on going. I didn't feel afraid anymore. I didn't have to look over my shoulder anymore. I didn't have to worry about people, being after me or anything like that. Or so.
By the way, did you smoke or take any of the drugs at all?
I tried, but it wasn't for me.
Okay, so no addiction problems there.
No.
And tell me, how is Sabrina today? What are you doing with yourself now?
Okay, so Sabrina today, well, I'm on the path to my career. I also graduated from university, something that took me about 8 years to do when I was in that lifestyle, and then coming out, and then when I came to the Christian centre with the youth group, it kind of inspired me to get back on track again and keep focused. So I graduated from university, and then I got into my career that I wanted to get into.
Which is?
Interior design. So I'm an interior designer, and I work for a really good company as well. I also have my business as well that I'm working on the side.
Your business
yes,
on the side.
Yes, on the side. But everything is completely different. Inside of me, I'm happy, I have peace, I'm focused, I know what I want, I know where I'm going, and things are just
How old is your son now?
My son's 11 now.
11?
Yeah. So.
And no fears for him, you know, getting into that lifestyle?
No, I mean, I've pointed him in the right direction anyway, and, you know, he's in the right place as well.
Yeah.
He's got his head screwed on, and, you know, he's doing well as well at school, and soon he'll be going to secondary school this year, so.
So this cycle's been broken?
Yes.
Right? Thank you very much for coming, sharing your story with us.
It's okay, thank you.
So, Pastor Bruno, we see here another person helped by faith, prayer, God, right?
Yes, and everything starts with faith. And what is faith? Faith is believing that it's possible. Because when a person is in a situation, the person says, well, it's not possible. The person doesn't believe. Even if someone presents to him a way out, the person doesn't believe. Then it becomes very difficult.
Yes.
So the person has to believe. So everything starts, the change started when she believed that she could change, you know, and God pointed her into the right direction, that Christian Center, the youth group, and the rest.
As she said, it started when she wanted the change, right? You know, I don't want this lifestyle anymore. And maybe you watching now, you say to yourself many times, I don't want to live this lifestyle anymore, but you're not giving any options. Well, if you just tuned in now to this program, this is an option. Maybe it could be your last option. Who knows what could happen tomorrow? Or what could happen tonight. But the option is there for you to take. Why not take it, all right? I want you to stay with us because we're going to go for a break. When we do, myself and Pastor Bruno will be talking directly to you about the help that you can get, and we'll also be praying for you. Prayer works. If you want help, then Finding Answers here tonight to help you, okay? We'll be right back after this break.
Where DKW a different kind of woman. So I want to find out if you might have dyslexia.
My memory's not too good today.
And it's almost like you have to be this superwoman.
Years and years ago when I watched Titanic, and obviously My Heart Will Go On came on, and it just brought me back to that time.
And I was with 4 other sisters. Lord, have mercy. So you know how they were. You're not gonna go over there and say nothing.
Come on, a little closer now, and let me know that you're mine. Woo!
It's going to be your turn to do your macaroons. No competition.
We're here at Britain's Top Designer 2015.
This is DKW. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Follow My Channel's updates on Facebook. Like your favourite videos and see pictures of your favourite artists. Access our Twitter @MyChannelUK and get to know what's on with My Channel. Visit tvmychannel.com and be connected to our world. My Channel, a whole new world of entertainment.
If I tell you a story, and you like that story, what kind of story is it?
It's a comedy.
No. Manchester
United.
I'm a pro.
Although I'm Chelsea. Love talk, time to communicate.
No, okay. Say that word, but differently.
It's time to communicate. Right, so we are in a relationship.
What were you doing? You're not supposed to tell me the word. We are in a marriage.
Yes.
Okay.
And we are very serious about it. So what does that say?
A serious marriage.
No. It has to do with your brain.
Intelligence.
What?
Intelligent love.
Yes. See, I'm getting good at this.
Love Talk on My Channel, Sky 203, every Saturday, 3 p.m.
Basically, before I was really empty, had a lot of emptiness, and it all started because I had a lot of, my mum and dad had arguments a lot, so they were fighting a lot. And me seeing at a young age, I had a strong anger towards my dad because I used to see him hurt my mum a lot. So I had a grudge against him, and I used to show it in different ways by later on in life by trying to get girls' attention. I was separated from my family. I was trying to just be different, like just trying to express it because I knew I couldn't express it through crying because I knew that I was wrong. So that was my way of expressing it. So the worst moment in my life was basically when I almost got stabbed. And it's not just the fact that I almost got stabbed, it's because of the people that I was around. I was around girls because my aim was to get girls. I wanted to be popular, I wanted to be known, and I had my friends around. So when I almost got stabbed, all my friends left, the girls that I was with left, and it showed me like, whoa, I'm really by myself and nobody's there to help me. So in that moment, it was the worst because like I felt lonely, I felt proper lonely, and in that moment, my life started to flash like through my eyes, through my mind. I remember my mum, I remember literally everyone, and that's how it was. So it changed because my friend invited me from school to a Christian youth group, and we used to do a lot of dancing, but afterwards we used to have a message, and that used to like hit home. Like, it made me think about my life. It made me like actually wonder, where am I going? So from that, I used to listen to it, and not just listen to it, I used to put into practice. Little by little, I was asking questions, I was opening up, and because I really wanted to move forward. And slowly, I started to let go of the friends that I had. I had strength through the messages. I had strength to listen to my mum, to forgive my dad. And that's how the change started to happen from hearing the message from the Christian youth group. I have peace. That's one thing that I can say that I have, but that I didn't have, is real peace. It's not, I don't need anyone to give it to me. I don't need to dance, because that's how I used to show peace. I don't need to dance to have peace or happiness. I don't need to do something. It's inside. I'm a different person now. My family sees it. I'm cool with my dad. Me and my dad are really together. I don't have the grudge against him. My family's together now. My brothers, I'm working. I'm in university, so things are moving forward, and the truth is, it's only going to get better.
Welcome back to tonight's Finding Answers, and joining me is Pastor Bruno. Pastor Bruno, what an interesting story tonight, right?
Yes, and very good to see that the life of a person can change that way. And this only proves, Pastor Michael, that if someone is watching us right now and this person thinks there is no way out, well, there's no way out because the person didn't know about this. Mm-hmm. But watching this story today makes the person realize there is a way out. At least it's worth trying. You know, while I was hearing Sabrina's story, I was remembering a story in the Bible. There was a gentleman called Jephthah. And in the Bible, he says his mother was a prostitute. And he was rejected by his brothers because his mother was a prostitute. And he went away, he was thrown out of the house. And the Bible says that he went around with worthless men, and they would go stealing and robbing and doing all kinds of crazy things because of his lifestyle. I mean, not lifestyle, his background. And he had a reputation for being part of this gang. But there was an opportunity to redeem himself, and he took that opportunity. To cut a long story short, there was, his people came back to him and asked for help, especially his brothers who cast him out of the family home. And they said, if you can, lead us and fight our enemies, if we prevail, then you will be our leader. And he did. He became a leader through faith in God. And my point is, his past, he was able through faith to change his past, even though he had this reputation of being with this gang, worthless men, the worst men you could ever think of. Now, if it happened in that time, I don't care if we're in the age of the internet, if you're carrying weapons and knives and guns, no matter what, your situation can change because it's all down, Pastor Bruno, to faith in God. No matter your past, you can change your situation. And this person can experience this change right now, there where you are. If you just look up and say, God, give me a sign. But you must be willing to obey. You must be willing to do, because just like God pointed Sabrina in the right direction, when she manifests that desire to change, because God is watching this person right now, Pastor Michael. Maybe this person thinks no one cares about me, there's no one there. God is there right now watching over you, and he looks, when he looks at a person, he doesn't see what the person is dressed with or wearing. He looks at the inside. He doesn't look at the skin color, he doesn't look at the past, he looks at the inside. If he sees the desire to change, so he will point the person in the right direction.
And he knows your desire. You know, when you're in your room and you say, how can I? You cry. You're a big man on the street. You have this big reputation, or so it seems, but you are a baby inside your bedroom. You cry. You want a way out, but you don't know how. You know what? God knows what you're going through in your heart. He knows the pain that you're suffering. But if you say to yourself, I want to break this pride, I can show this reputation on the streets, but I'm like a baby, then God sees your desire. He wants to help you. You just need to give him a chance. What's the point proving that you're this big shot, this someone who, you know, has a reputation on the streets, but you cry, you're sad, you're empty, you wish you could be in someone else's shoes? Well, you can be in someone else's shoes, your same shoes, but in a different environment, a different situation, through the power of faith. If you want our prayer now, don't turn the TV over, because we're going to pray for you. And God, seeing this small desire for a change, this desire is going to grow. You're going to see a difference as Sabrina did. Get your glass of water ready, because now it's time for prayer.
Lord, we now enter into your presence. And let this prayer, my God, be the beginning of a new life. For those who are lifeless, for those who have given up, they have given up, my Lord, not because they don't want to change, but because they are tired. People who have been everywhere, but the solution just wasn't there. People who did everything they knew, everything people told them to do. But now they are presented with a new chance, a new opportunity. And I pray with those who want to grab hold of this opportunity. People who are even challenging what we said here in this program is good. People who listen to us and they are asking, they are challenged, if this is true, I want to see. So, my God, let them see. And the first sign, let it be your peace inside of this person. This person who doesn't know what peace is. This person who doesn't know, my Father, what it is to have a peaceful night of sleep, because every night is dreadful, with nightmares, with anxiety. This person who is afraid, fearful for his life. This person, my God, who is living on the edge. Yes, my Lord, in a very dangerous situation. This person who has to hide, run away from the problems, from the situations. This person, my God, who heard so many negative things, negative remarks. There is no change for you. There is no way your life can change. Well, we are here to say there is a way out. My Lord, so let this person see, let this person experience right now your power. I pray that you bless the glass of water of this person, the water we're praying with. Let this water be your energy inside this person to provoke the change. And those, my God, only you know who they are, those who have a truthful desire to change, a sincere desire to change. I pray as of now, point them into the right direction, just as you did with Sabrina and many others. That's what I pray in the name of Jesus. And those who believe can now drink of your blessed water.
You know, Pastor Bruno during this prayer said something which I want to continue with. Maybe when you joined a gang, they challenged you to do something. They challenged you to pickpocket. They challenged you to, a fight, and you had to stand there, right, while you were initiated. But you went for that challenge in order to fit in. Well, I want to challenge you now. I want to challenge you to do something for God, right? Why don't you pray? And not only pray, why don't you give us a call now? If you want to send me an email, if you want to pick up the phone and give me a call and, leave a message for me, I will return your call. I will return your email. And if you want this real change, then this is a challenge. What's easier, sending an email asking for help or being involved in that fight? Being, pickpocketing someone, stabbing someone, right? But probably getting hurt, being arrested and spending, most of your teen or adult years in a prison cell. If I was you, I had the choice, I'll pick up the phone. This is the challenge I want to set with you. You can be a real man, right? This way, or a respectful young woman by doing this. So there's a challenge. It's up to you if you want to do it or not. If you're a parent or if you are a teen in a gang, then the challenge is here. All right? Until the next time, have a wonderful night. God bless you.